We've got lots going on the programme tonight, not least of which is this news about Star Wars. There's loads that's come out of the news today about Star Wars, and many of it really a big surprise to those in the movie industry and to Star Wars fans as well. May the Force be with you, or with Disney actually, because they're the ones who bought Lucasfilm, the company which make the Star Wars movies. As part of a $4 billion deal, a new series of Star Wars films will be made. The first of those, Star Wars Episode 7, will be released in 2015. And Mark Newbold is from Burntwood in the Black Country. He's the co-owner of the fan site Jedi News. He writes for Star Wars Insider magazine, and I'm sure he's delighted to hear about this today. Hello, Mark.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm a happy fellow today.
I bet you are. When did you first hear about this?
It's been rumoured for a while. There's been talk about it happening. Not the specifics, but we knew something was coming along. We knew something big was going to happen. But we didn't know exactly what. And people talk, and there's always been a good relationship with Disney. We knew that George was looking to retire and step back a little bit. So people were starting to hypothesise what was going on. Things were changing at Lucasfilm. And so we actually found out, I used the royal we actually found out yesterday at about 8 o'clock when it was announced. So about 1 minute past 8, I got a phone call from James, the guy that I run the site with, telling me that Disney had just bought Lucasfilm. So whilst in its parts it wasn't a shock, it kind of made sense still to hear that, the biggest independent filmmaker in the world has just been bought by Disney. Was quite a big thing.
And as a Star Wars purist, would you have liked it to have stayed, an independent company? But it's now been bought up by a massive corporate. Or do you actually see, maybe with what Disney did with Pixar, actually, is that the same sort of thing you'd like to see them do with the Star Wars franchise now?
You've nailed it. That's exactly it. Yeah, I think if it had stayed independent, I think Lucas would have retired. It would have, in the 80s when Jedi had come out and they'd done a couple of TV movies and a couple of animated shows, and it kind of just quietly went to rest, really, until they sort of started to bring it back in the early 90s. But I think being exactly like you say, with Pixar, with Marvel, with the Muppets, Disney's got a good track record of taking pre-existing franchises and doing really, really good things with it. So I think Star Wars and Disney were sort of made for each other anyway. So I think it's a great deal, and the fact that we're going to get. They've announced one film. There'll more than likely be a film every couple of years. So we've got lots of films, lots of TV, lots of animated stuff. There's loads to come. What's
your view of the Star Wars franchise? I've been saying all afternoon, Mark. I have an 11-year-old son who loves all of that Clone Wars series. He's of the generation that really buys into Star Wars 1, 2 and 3. Yeah, I'm guessing you and I are from a generation that think that was a load of yuck pap, and actually 4, 5 and 6 are the original Star Wars movies are best. Do you think there is an appetite for new films?
There's a massive appetite. I know what you're saying about the obviously I was born in 71, so I was 7 when Star Wars came to the UK, so I grew up with it. It's always been there for me. But similarly, I've got nephews who are of that similar sort of age who love the Clone Wars. That's for the kids today. So it's a big franchise. It covers a lot of ground, and there's something in there for everybody. Now, obviously, this is going to be pitched at both the crowd that are into the Clone Wars and the prequels 1, 2, and 3, and people like us, because rumour has it that Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, and other actors will be coming back to reprise roles in this new film. So fingers crossed it's going to touch every single base it could possibly touch.
So I've been asking our audience tonight, Mark, what they want to see happen in Star Wars Episode 7. Where do you want to see the story go? What would you like to see happen?
Well, since the third film, since Return of the Jedi came out, we've not had any real sequels on celluloid. It's always been prequels. And they've done books and comics that have sort of hypothesised and moved the story on in what's known as the expanded universe. So there's certain touchstones that would be nice to see pointed to there, unless they just run roughshod over it, which of course they could. I've got no real preference. I want to be surprised. Running a website like Jedi News, we're kind of in the spoilers game anyway, and sometimes it's nice to get something come out of the blue. So I'd like to be as sort of fresh to all of this as I possibly can. I've got no illusions that I'm going to hear stuff that I don't want to hear, in terms of spoilers. But I'm ready to be sort of dragged in and enchanted by it all again, completely fresh. So I've got no preconceived ideas, really.
Good. Mark, appreciate you spending some time with us tonight. Thanks very much indeed. Okay. Mark Newbold at the West Midlands-based Jedi News, reacting to that news of Star Wars being bought by Disney, £2 billion, and a Star Wars movie, Episode 7 out for 2015.